Welcome to our podcast, She's Bridging the Gap, where we're on a mission to bridge the gap through conversations that inspire change and build lives, businesses, and healthier minds. I'm Sam D, and I'm a certified nutrition coach and personal trainer.
I'm Hannah Harvey, and I'm a business coach and strategist.
And I'm Kendra Garrett, a mindset and accountability coach. In this podcast, we're going to bring you the tools you need to bridge the gap between your health, wealth, and relationships.
Hello, we are so glad that you joined us for our very first podcast episode. In this episode, we're going to be talking about what this podcast is going to be all about and what you can expect from our weekly Wednesday episodes.
As we've been growing our businesses over the last year and shifting more into the coaching side of things, we've noticed that there is a need that is bigger than what we can offer individually. So many people, as they're growing their businesses, as they're just moving through life and trying to go from point A to B and C and everything in between, there's something more that they need.
We are on a mission to bridge that gap between health, wealth, and relationships all in one place, so you don't feel pulled in all the different directions, trying to be everywhere, do all the things. We're trying to provide all of that support in one place for you. First, we figured we would just kind of tell a little bit about how we have been brought together on this journey and why we've been brought together and why we are wanting to serve you in the best capacity. So what brought us together?
What brought us together in the beginning was a program that we all went through called the Free Mama. And I am not sure when you guys started, but I started that in 2019. But then in the end of 2021, we all joined a coaching certification program. And from that ending, we decided to start a video podcast.
Yeah, so I actually started the program probably just a few months before Sam did. And then, of course, we joined that certification in December of 2021. And so we've been spending the last year really closely together, seeing each other almost every week on calls and stuff.
So I also joined in 2019, and whenever we all joined the certification program with the Free Mama, just to grow our businesses. And it's been quite a fun year getting to know each other and work together alongside just kind of this journey that we've all been on into our coaching transition.
Yeah, and I feel like that contributes to why we wanted to start this podcast, which is our next question. But I feel like we had this sense of community, collaboration, being on the same path, moving in the same direction. We were experiencing the similar struggles. And so through that idea of wanting a bigger community and wanting more support is kind of one of the reasons why we started this podcast. So question for you ladies, why a video podcast?
So I feel like with a video podcast, you definitely get more reach. So we're able to reach more people who may need what we have to offer. And you also feel a different level of connection when you see somebody on a video as opposed to just listening to them. So this way you have both options to either listen to us or listen to us and watch us.
Yeah, it gives more of that, or we are hoping it will give you more of that round table discussion feel, like you're sitting with us virtually or at your own coffee table, whatever, just chatting along with us and having that round table discussion with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And I feel like it helps us be able to reach more people and help the whole person versus what we can do individually. So we're just bringing our 3 areas of expertise together to help the whole person.
That brings us to our next question. What is the goal of this awesome podcast?
Okay, so we each have our own experiences to bring, where our goal is to give you the advice and tools that you need throughout where for me, I've gone through a lot of life experiences to help with self-sabotaging and limiting beliefs. And just help your mind have those transformative mindset shifts and able to get you into that growth that you are seeking for personal or business, whatever that might be, to get you to that next level, which, as Hannah previously said, we just want to help you take care of the whole person, where you're not having to separate business and personal life, because that's reality. That's not what happens. Like business and personal life is intertwined, and that's where our goal is to help you intertwine those in the most feasible, realistic way.
Absolutely. And I think also like we're bringing in our 3 areas of expertise in order to like help the whole person. So one of my big goals for this podcast is being able to help female entrepreneurs with their business growth, whether it's you just need help with business ideas, growing your business, or creating like the financial and time freedom that you've always wanted. Also like how to make more and how to balance your time so that you get to actually enjoy your life instead of working it away.
Like you ladies said, we all bring such different things to the table, and you will hear each of our stories throughout this month of what we do bring to the table and how we got to that point. And for me, I really want to bring less toxicity, get rid of the toxic diet culture, and help business owners who are at home all day or running around all day really figure out how to hone in on their health and figure out weight loss or mental clarity, anything that's going to make you feel better or reach your health goals. That is what I want to help bring to our listeners who are trying to bridge that gap through business and life and health.
With all that being said, we're so excited to be bringing you this podcast. Like Sam said, we're going to be talking a little more in depth about our individual stories. But we do want to end each of our podcasts with a tip or a piece of advice that you can use moving forward. So we're dropping this episode on February 1st, which means it's the time of the year where your New Year's resolutions might have fizzled out. So you two, what is a piece of advice you have for our listeners or watchers as they're hitting this February 1st mark?
So my piece of advice is just don't be hard on yourself. It's not worth it. There's this theory that we have to make huge changes for the new year, but I think changing a ton of habits at once isn't ideal for sustainability, especially when you're trying to get healthy or lose weight or anything like that. So my biggest tip would be to start with one new habit each week and then build on those habits. And my tip for this week is to start adding 8 ounces of water every day this week. See how that goes. And then if you're good with that habit for next week, we'll start a new one next week.
I love that. And it's those tiny habits, and that's where we have to start. Like you said, like not to overwhelm yourself with all the big goals that might be fizzling out right now because it's so overwhelming. One piece of advice I would love to give is pick that main priority goal that you set that maybe you're struggling with right now, and go back to why you set it. Go back to that reasoning internally of why you set that goal, and write yourself a note, just a quick encouraging note whenever maybe you are feeling self-sabotage, like, no, I can't do this, or someone's doing better than me, or, I have all this stuff on my plate that's just not feasible right now. Write yourself an encouraging note with your reasoning why you're doing this, just as like to your future self, to say, you can do it. This is why you want to do it. And this is why you need to do it. And yeah, just encourage yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Just give those tiny habits to move yourself in the growth that you're seeking.
Yeah, I think those are both awesome. And then the tip that I wanted to share with you guys is to remember that whatever you're doing, whatever you're trying to shift to, it's not going to happen overnight. Simple as that, right?
Yeah.
And so it's going to take the consistency over time in order to hit your goals or be on the journey to make your dreams or your goals, whatever it is, happen. So like Sam and Kendra said, we should be nice to yourself and understand that just making improvements and making steps forward, as long as you're consistently moving forward, you're going to get to where you want to be, or the journey is going to be the thing that you really, really wanted, actually. So that's my advice.
That's so true.
No, it's the journey, not the destination.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, so that's all we have for you guys this week. We look forward to bringing you all the tips and tricks to help you bridge that gap. Make sure that you are subscribed on the podcast app that you are listening on, whether it is Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you are listening to your podcast. And we will talk to you again next Wednesday.
See ya.
Bye.
You can find our podcast, She's Bridging the Gap, on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts, and on YouTube if you want to watch the live video chat.
You can subscribe to our channel now so you don't miss a single episode.
And we're so excited to start helping you build your bridge.